So far, it's been a brutal start to the 2023 NFL season. We're 0-2, okay, and that means rumors are going to start swirling around. We've already signed Dalton Risner. We traded for Cam Akers, but another trade could potentially happen, and that is trading away quarterback Kirk Cousins. And I know some of you might like it. Some of you are like, why? Like, he's been balling. Yes, he has been balling out, which means that his trade stock is only getting better. And if the Vikings start 0-3 this Sunday, okay, we have to start looking at the reality that we might just be, quote-unquote, tanking a little bit. I don't like that word, but if it means getting Caleb Williams in the building or Drake May or Shedeur Sanders if he chooses to go in the NFL draft or all these other quarterbacks, I'd be okay with it. But first, we also have to address that offensive line and figure out what could or how to make it better, basically. But these rumors about Kirk Cousins have just started swirling around recently. Actually started yesterday, I do believe. So I went and dove into it and got a good article from Christopher Klein, who writes for Fanside, and he dove through the situation and gave us a couple potential trades that actually could happen. But again, they might not happen. So let's get to that article. Stay with me here. It says the Minnesota Vikings finished last season 13-4, kings of the NFC North, and firmly in the contenders' circle, or so we thought. An early postseason exit sparked questions about the validity of the Minnesota's winning reputation. Now, those questions have been amplified tenfold to open the 2023 campaign. A lot of one-score games. We won 11 one-score games last year. Just think about that. Now, Minnesota obviously is 0-2 after a grueling Thursday night loss to the Philadelphia Eagles. A 6-point loss to the Eagles isn't exactly damning, okay, but it came on the heels of a ghastly Week 1 loss to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and it involved 4 crippling turnovers. All right? We just, for some reason, can't hang on to the ball. Now, as the Detroit Lions and Green Bay Packers make strong early impressions, the Vikings are looking like division underdogs, not favorites. Now, the spotlight shifts to Kirk Cousins, whose future with the team is increasingly uncertain. Remember, we could have signed him for a contract extension, but again, we're holding off until March. Kind of a prove-it year for Kirk. Now, Cousins is in the final year of his contract, and the Vikings have been hesitant to engage in long-term contract extension talks. Now, those talks will go nowhere fast if Cousins and the offense can't get back on track and fast. Yes, Kirk Cousins, number 2 number 2 in passing yards leader in the NFL behind Tua Tagovailoa. So yeah, he's balling and stuff, but a lot of turnovers, a lot of fumbles, stuff like that. We just can't have it. Okay, we got to be better, right? Now, if the Vikings find themselves compelled to go in a new direction, which is definitely a possibility, the first domino could be a Cousins trade. Here are a few potential options to bear in mind. There's 3 potential options. I only like one of these. The other ones are kind of, it makes you realize that, oh, this would be tanking, kind of. So let's get right to it. The first trade would be to the Tennessee Titans. So we would send Kirk Cousins and a 2024 5th-round pick, and in return, we would get Ryan Tannehill, a 3rd-round pick, a 4th-round pick in 2024, and then a 4th-round pick in 2025. I don't like this just because I'm not a Ryan Tannehill fan. I think we've seen his ceiling. He's not going to get any better. He actually is probably going to get worse. Even though, yes, we do have the weapons, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, KJ Osborne, I still would take Kirk Cousins over Ryan Tannehill any day of the week. The next trade is one that I can get on board with, okay? This is one that makes a lot of sense, and I'd be okay with, right? It says we would send Kirk Cousins and a 2024 6th-round pick to the Cardinals, and in return, we'd get Kyler Murray, which would be sweet, and a 2024 4th-round and 5th-round pick. Now, this one I'd be okay with just because we really haven't seen a scrambling quarterback in this Viking system since, Randall Cunningham, you could Fran Tarkenton. I mean, we've really never had a scrambling quarterback, and I'd like to see how that dynamic would be with this offense, being that our offensive line isn't that great. If you get Kyler Murray kind of rolling out of the pocket, that's where he shines. That's where he plays his best football, is when he's rolling out and has to make, plays on his feet. So this would be a cool trade. I'd be okay with this one. The last one doesn't make any sense to me at all. It's actually to the New York Jets, right? They just got Aaron Rodgers, or traded for Aaron Rodgers this season, tore his Achilles 4 plays into Week 1. He's out for the majority of the season. There's rumors that he could come back in January if they have a little playoff push, but still, Rodgers is coming back next year. Okay, yes, we know that Zach Wilson isn't the franchise quarterback that they thought, or that everyone thought he was going to be for the Jets. So in that aspect, take away Rodgers, yeah, this would make sense. But since Rodgers is still there, still under contract for another season, this one wouldn't make sense at all because it's to the Jets. So I'm not really going to talk about it, but there are a couple of trade rumors swirling around the NFL about Kirk Cousins potentially leaving, getting traded by the Minnesota Vikings, and hopefully we would go into the draft and maybe, take a Caleb Williams. If now we'd have to be very bad, okay? I'm talking very, very bad, like 0-16 bad to get Caleb Williams if we really wanted to. Otherwise, we could get Drake May, Shedeur Sanders, and there's other ones out there as well that we could potentially take a look at to be the next franchise quarterback of the Minnesota Vikings. But as of right now, these are all they're strictly just rumors. So keep in mind that this might not happen, but it definitely could. So keep it in the back of your mind. Again, if the Vikings start 0-3, watch out for some moves to potentially happen. And if not, this could be Kirk Cousins' last season as a Minnesota Viking. And what's in store for us in the future, I have no idea. But I really hope it's not Jaren Hall and Nick Mullins. So let me know what you think about this rumor in the comment section below. Drop a like. And, hey, subscribe to the channel. It'd be much, much appreciated. Have a great rest of your night, folks. And Skol Vikes.